Coach, this is the second match in a row, 0-0 draw. It looked like, compared to last week, maybe a little more movement offensively, more chances. What was I know the score was the same, but what was the biggest difference you think offensively?
We were better this week than last week. They did have a few guys missing. I thought the first 20 minutes were slow for us. You know, they were outworking us, getting in areas, picking up second balls. They were physical. They were first to everything early on. They were playing at a different tempo, and we were giving up corners. And anytime we got forward, it was just, let's just try to hit it in the box. We crossed a few balls. No one's even in the box. But as we got to the last 15, 20 minutes of the first half, I thought our level started to go up. Second half, I thought was a good half for 30, 35 minutes. I mean, we played almost the entire half in their half. Some good chances, I think. More runners in the box. They defend well. They don't give up many goals. They've given up one less goal than us. So we had to get someone in the near post. There were 3 or 4 balls that made it all the way to Danny Vidiello. It would have been nice to get someone there for a flick on. A couple of rebounds we could have followed up on. I mean, we did create more, and we ratcheted up the pressure in the second half. So pretty happy how we responded with a slow start in the game. Disappointed with the last 10 or 15 minutes. We gave a bunch of balls away. To me, there's still a lot of time to win that game, and there was no quality from us at the very end. You know, maybe I made one too many subs. You know, I mean, you change 5 guys, and maybe I made too many changes. I don't know. The last 10, 15 minutes, we lost the plot. I think when Kenny came out and Mark Ibarra, I think we lost a rhythm. It was chaotic in both ways, but it's just tough. I mean, I think we needed to be ruthless in the second half, to have that much possession, to have that many turnovers. They're trying to play. We're winning balls and then mistrapping them or passing it right back to them. I mean, we had the ball in good spaces over and over and over again, and we just didn't execute. But there was more moments that we can point to. Hey, we could have been dangerous there. We did look dangerous there. And there was a little bit more energy to go forward. And, you know, there was some improvement there. It was good to see Dikwa get back in with the group. It was good to see Robbie get minutes and get back into the group. Like, these are things that will hopefully help. I said to the guys after the game, it's not about Dikwa. It's not about me. It's not about Kenny or Arturo. We all have to be sharp, and we all have to do the little things. And we had them on the ropes, and we didn't execute. You know, too many sloppy passes, too many mental mistakes where we went backwards and we went forward. Or, you know, Luke Biasi's fresh, and we get him on a counter, and he's got a guy 1v1, and he turns back. And you got to take him on there. You got to get to the end line. Like, you know, these are things we talk about. I think we needed to stay ultra aggressive and not assume that, hey, we're controlling, we're dominating, we're going to get the goal. No, it's Sacramento. They don't give many. You better be knocking on the door. And by the way, you know, when you get those 3 or 4 clear looks, there's a pretty good goalkeeper you're going to have to beat in Vidiello. So we almost got there. Hopefully we can build on this for the next game. It's a quick turnaround, and we got to travel. So, you know, it'd been nice to get the 3 tonight going to Louisville on Wednesday, but, you know, there's still the opportunity to get 3 on Wednesday in Louisville, and hopefully this will help us learn some things, and we'll play a little bit better. You know, I'm happy with what we did today for the most part, but frustrated that some of the things that we've been really stressing have to get done all the time. You know, in the final third, the runs, we should never be missing a near post run. We should never not be following in for a rebound. These are things that all coaches are trying to get their players to do. So that's a bit frustrating that some of those things let us down as well. But a lot of good to point to. It was a strong performance from the defensive group, and a good effort from the guys to turn that initial slow start into a game by halftime. You know, we had gotten ourselves back in the game. We're lucky we didn't give up one early. As big as they are, as dangerous as they are in set pieces. I mean, the very first ball in our back, we shanked the ball over the end line for a corner kick. I mean, it's a pretty easy clearance to pass it out of bounds for a throw, and somehow they're getting a corner. So, I mean, there were moments like that, you know, are mental miscues that you can't afford generally. Certainly you don't want to be doing that in the big games against the best teams.
Was the plan to bring on Dikwa and Mertz prior to today's game, or was it more reacting to the game itself and deciding what you needed to change for the team to get that goal in the second half?
Well, if they're dressed, that means they're cleared to play. If you had them cleared to play, would you play them?
Yeah.
So it's not really like if I dress them, they're going to play. Otherwise, I just would have waited and held them for Louisville. So for me, yeah, I mean, I don't know that I went into the game thinking I wanted to have, you know, Dikwa play 45 minutes, but I felt like we were starting to win some balls higher. We were starting to get some transition moments, and Dikwa's movements, and just a little bit more savvy than Tola's at this point. So, you know, Tola struggles when experienced guys are bumping him. Sometimes he struggles to hold the ball. He's unpredictable. I think we just made that decision right before halftime. Let's sub him at half, get him on. We still have Kiza off the bench. DZ hasn't played for a while. He's been injured. You know, he had some good moments. I think it was tough. The speed of the game. That game was played at a faster tempo right out of the gate than we played against Columbus, New England, or Cincinnati. Maybe it just started with a really fast physical tempo. Even though he's a very good athlete, I think it was a lot. He had some good moments. He had some struggles. I just made those changes knowing Dikwa and Danny's experience. Maybe we'd get a little bit cleaner play, which we did. And I think the second half started well for us, you know. But yeah, the hope was to get Robbie in at some point, as well as Kiza, and we were able to do that. And then we added Luke at the end because I think Langston, you know, was running out of gas. And he doesn't miss kick too many balls, and you know he had a few issues where I'm like, well, we better make this change, or we may get caught in a transition moment. Listen, it was better, but I don't like tying one game at home, let alone two in a row. It's just tough to be cheerful. Like we played a lot worse in one, you know, and you know, so I don't really want to. I need to watch the tape, and I know there were certain things to force the game in our favor, and guys were brave to get higher in the press, and they were very disruptive against an experienced team that, you know, we had them rattled for a long stretch, but you know, it doesn't really matter if you rattle people if you can't make them, if you can't punish them. So, you know, there's good and bad. I just need to probably sit back and look at some things. I mean, I talked to him a while after, but we'll get to see the tape and hopefully have those discussions and be ready for Louisville. and with changes in the lineup. Yes.
Bob, super rare to have 2 0-0 ties in a row. In fact, Matt informed me that last time that happened with the Riverhounds was your first 2 outings as head coach. So speak to 2 things, Coach, if you would. One, your thoughts on a scoreless tie as a coach, and second, as a fan when you watch a soccer game, because I think you'll agree with me, there are some scoreless games that are beautiful.
Well, hopefully we're getting fans now that are more educated that, yeah, we'd all like to see 2-2 rather than 0-0 maybe, but yeah, the top in the East against the top in the West, it was a competitive game. It maybe is a preview for a playoff game later on. There was some drama in it. There were players coming back that played here. There was a buzz walking to the bench before the game because Dikwa and Robbie are walking with Kiza like 20 yards in front of me, and a lot of people don't see those lineups and they're watching Dikwa and Robbie, and I could hear the murmurs and I could hear the energy because people were seeing that. So, I think it's disappointing because if you score, you win these games, and this is a fortress, so it's tough for people to come in here and beat us, but you're losing ground on the field when you're getting 1 point. Nobody's winning their division averaging 1 point a game. You need to average 2 points a game. And we've dropped points the last 2 weeks. Like, we've gotten 2 out of 6, so that's not good enough. It's nice to say, hey, we showed some good signs and we can clean up these things. The reality is we're 24 games in, 6 preseason and 18. Like 24 games is enough. Some of these things we should be doing by the 3rd game of the year. So we just got to keep plugging. Hopefully our unbeaten run does not turn into a draw run, and we start putting 3s on the board again because they were adding up pretty quick. And I think, all right, if you drop them at home, you got to go make them up somewhere. A big win on the road against a good team would maybe do that. But, our backs are against the wall going to Louisville because we didn't really establish ourselves, and we're going to have to be that much better in a few days, or we're not going to get anything out of that game. And I think that'll be the message to the team. I think they have another gear, but I also think we're capable of playing better, but also with more soccer application. And we've been talking a lot about having a purpose and having an intention rather than allow the game to be a series of random events. And sometimes we're playing and we're not purposeful enough, and it's not going to get it over the line as often as we'd like playing that way.
Bob, kind of jumping off of his question, this was the 2nd largest crowd you've had here this year. It seems like this has been building from the outside as far as the fan base. I was just curious what it's been like from the time you've been here until now, how you've seen this kind of grow.
I mean, to be honest, I thought we would be here in 2019. That team was 2 wins, 2 losses, and 7 draws through 11 games, but only lost twice, and then ripped off 19 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws. And you had New York Red Bull, a playoff team, and Ottawa, and Tampa Bay, and Louisville, and Indy 11 was a playoff team back then. That team and that field was as deep as any point in 2019, the year before COVID. And it was disappointing. It was only my 2nd year here. But clearly it's taking time. But I think it's constant application from Tuffy trying to improve things here, whether it be the training facility, the relationship with AHN, the facilities. I mean, he's made those investments, and I give a lot of credit to the front office staff is growing. I give a lot of credit to Jeff, Nicole. You know, they're selling tickets. They're getting out, you know, and reaching the people from a marketing standpoint. You know, the hard yards are being put in by the front office, and it was sellable probably sooner than we got to this point. It's never an easy sell. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot going on this summer in Pittsburgh, but it's really nice to see, and I think part of it's the teams having success. But we've been pretty successful year in, year out. I think you can't get anywhere without both of them. You know, it's our office staff. It's Lindsay will be happy when I say this, but it's the social media posts, it's the relationship with the media that Matt has to garner. It's the, you know, ticketing people and the marketing people, and those things all have to fall into place. And by the way, there's more responsibility on a lot of these people because now they're dealing with more venues and more reach. You know, so I think they have their stuff together, and that's helping. And hopefully, you know, we keep playing well because, you know, if we start losing now, then, you know, maybe it makes their jobs hard. Right? Hopefully, we're all rowing in the same direction.
One more. Do you like when the schedule allows you to face a team, you know, a few days after you face them, like the case is going to be with Louisville?
No, because you don't learn anything from that game with them. They just came and made it ugly because we had off to a good start. They just started fouling and kicking long balls. And it will be nothing like that in Louisville on a big, wide grass field. They're going to play. We're going to have to be able to deal with that. We're going to have to be able to hang. It's not. You're not going to learn anything. It's going to be like a completely different game. You might as well play them a year from now. So, and there will be different people on the field. Some guys that were injured will play for them next game. And 10 days ago, Deco wasn't playing, or a week ago. He may start. We'll see. He got through a half with no problems. It's going to feel different. It's going to look different. Now, that psychologically, they know we were very disruptive, and now Pittsburgh going to have to come in here. I haven't seen the results. My guess is they won tonight. They were at home, right? Anybody know?
They're tied at halftime with Lightning.
Okay. They're likely to win, not travel. We just have to be ready to play, and we have to show the toughness we should. Like everyone, I think we needed to do more offensively and purpose, but the fact that we limited almost all their chances in the second half, and I mean to be that smothering defensively, credit has to be given. It's just, I don't want to be that team that can only get it right. You're never going to get anywhere if you can't get it right at both ends. So there's always something to work on. The only good thing is it's a shot at redemption. I mean, to me, I would take a tie in Louisville in normal circumstances, but after tying and tying, I don't want another tie. Do you know what I'm saying? So, you know, how much do we push? You know, but 3 games and 3 points loses ground to someone, whether it be Memphis or Charleston or Tampa or, you know, so it's not really interesting us. I think it's hard to go in there feeling we have to win. You just have to be disciplined and play a good game and make it about us. I thought the second half we did. Until the late stages, we didn't have the composure to connect the pass. We're just kicking balls. Like, to me, a little quality at the end of the game. You could have got 3 or 4 clear looks over the last 10 minutes, and you got a good chance of still winning. We had unsettled them and forced enough panic. They're shanking balls out of bounds. They're losing balls in bad areas. I mean, I don't know what more you can do to disrupt their cohesiveness. We needed to stay on point, stay on task, and we just lost the plot with some of the choices and loose turnovers. I don't know. Maybe it just was fluky that it happened that way. Or some of the fatigue for some guys. But some of those mistakes were about guys that came on that were fresher and they needed to take care of the ball and just stay with the program. And to me, it was there to be won, and we didn't give ourselves the opportunity the last 10 or 15 minutes. And that's what I think what we'll regret the most. I think I'll watch the tape and be excited about some of the things I saw, and I'll share that with the players. But they want to win too. I'm not the only one disappointed tonight. I think they know. We probably let this one get away because this one we had them on the ropes. I don't remember Louisville struggling last week just to pass it on. So hopefully we can. Like I said, you'll have to play different in Louisville. Like the game on Wednesday's not going to feel the same regardless of tonight or last week's game against Louisville. It'll be a totally different play. Thanks.
All right, guys.
You have, you're here.